Welcome back to Bro Partisan Hacks. I think today we're going to get into something that personally, the two of us have argued about for 5 years now, going on, right? I think something about that.
And years.
It's been a long time. We could go on this topic for obviously 5 years, at least, and we're just going to kind of hit our positions on this topic and kind of where we stand. And I think there are some things that we'll agree upon, but there are things that we'll never agree upon, and I think that we're going to touch on some of those today. So this topic, of course, is near and dear to my brother's heart: the Medicare for All.
Indeed.
Specifically, the Bernie Sanders plan. I do believe is your latest and greatest, the 2019 version that was released. Is that correct, Reese?
Yeah, I think so. I think he had a plan and Pramila Jayapal had a plan, and they were both very, very similar. I actually think Jayapal's plan was a little bit better. Had a couple different provisions in it that I liked more than Bernie's plan, believe it or not. But essentially it's the same. It's the same thing. Just provisionally different in how they went about some things. I don't exactly remember. You and I went over it in pretty good detail, and we were sending both copies of each bill back and forth. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I do. I remember that. Yeah, we were like, and I hate this part, and you were like, I don't like this part. This is gotta have this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll get started because, as you said, you can go over and you get very emotional about these things, and I'm gonna call you out on that. So we'll just go right in. So my problem with Medicare for All, at the foundational level, I do not want to give that much power to the federal government. Now, I say that, and I recognize that, and this is where we are going to agree, our healthcare system is busted. It's so broken, and it has, I think, a lot to do with some of the regulations that are in place and the things that have been established a lot by the government and a lot by, we'll just say, greedy for-profit entities. But I do not believe that the answer is giving that power to the federal government, all of it. It's my firm belief that there are other things that we could do to reduce cost that could be implemented and not get rid of private insurance altogether, like the Sanders bill does. There are, and we can go into it, and I'm sure we will, there are costs associated with the bill as it's proposed, that is vetted from both institutes on the left and right, and then what that really means for the taxpayer versus what they're getting out of it. There are many concerns I have with those issues, and fundamentally, when it comes down to a lot of the arguments that I hear for healthcare being a right, I don't think, just from a principled standpoint, that anyone has the right to anyone else's work. Now, that's not to say that we can't
That's
do
laughable.
things for people. Yes, I know. You've heard this from me before. You know my position on this, and I still hold to it. I don't think that we would get the service that we get. I don't believe that the government would be very good stewards of our healthcare. And that's really what it comes down to. Now, is there other solutions that we could maybe look at where it's a mixed public-private, and we do other things to improve competition? there's evidence that says Obamacare killed competition with regards to some of the limits and restrictions. And in certain states, there's only one insurer that are active in some of these some states. All the others were driven out of business. So that's my basic position. There's things that we have to fix. Giving it to government isn't the right answer.
So I turned off my microphone just so I wouldn't talk over you through the whole spiel there, just so we're all clear. Okay, couple things. One, we've all taken economics 101, yes? Or at least you and I have both. We've taken economics. We have a father who has a degree in economics. We're pretty well versed. We know how the supply and demand curve works, yes? So when the prices go up, demand tends to go down. That's how economics works, right? Would you say there's a value curve as it moves? Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
So healthcare doesn't work like that. The demand curve on healthcare is inelastic. It's inelastic. So that means when the price goes up, the demand stays the same. It doesn't go down. It's not, healthcare is not a Yeti cup. It's not a sponsor yet. It's not.
This is brand names.
It's not an iPad. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, you can make choices on those things. If the price is too high, that's a $30 stupid cup, right? Maybe somebody don't want to spend that much money on a Yeti cup. They can go buy the Arctic, also not a sponsor, for like half the price. Okay? So you can make those choices. What you can't choose is whether or not you go get a new heart, whether or not you get a new lung, whether you get treatment for cancer. When let's see, when prices go up, demand stays the same. This is how we get price gouging in healthcare. Insulin, for example, costs $3 to make. And these two companies, now I understand, please don't get into the stupid patent argument, because that's another situation altogether. But these two companies basically control the entire market for insulin. And so that they have I guess it's an oligopoly. I don't know what you would call that, monopoly, but it's two companies and they control the prices. So they jack the prices up. Well, people have to have that to stay alive. And so they can charge whatever the fuck they want, right? And if they have insurance, the insurance continues because they're part of the grand scheme of medicine in this whole thing, because it's all a money-making operation here, right? So ultimately, when you are profiting from the health of people, it is absolutely, to me, absolutely immoral. It is unethical. It is evil. Evil. Okay? Because there's no price that you wouldn't pay to help to keep your child alive. There's no price you wouldn't pay to keep your loved ones alive. There's not a cap to that. And so I would absolutely bankrupt myself in order to keep my children alive. I would absolutely, without question, bankrupt myself. Right?
Yeah.
I would hope that you would do the same. And so when you have medical bankruptcy is a thing in this country, it is immoral. There are 500,000 people that declare bankruptcy every year in this country because of medical debt.
Thank you for watching this episode of Bro Partisan Hacks with Reese and Rob. We really, really appreciate you watching, tuning in. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to us. We're putting out content as often as we can. Share it with your friends. Get it out there. Get our names out there. Also, hit that bell, tap that bell right there so that you can get updated when we put out a new video. Rob and I are trying to pump these videos out as often as we can. However, we both have day jobs, we have families, so our schedules have to line up so that we can make a new video. Speaking of our day jobs, our opinions and views expressed are our own and in no way represent those of our respective employers. Thank you. Thanks again for watching.